Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. So Liverpool have beaten Huddersfield by 3-0 in what was, in the end, a fairly comfortable win by the end of the match. But it really was a game of two halves. I mean, the first half of that match was absolutely shocking. It was appalling. It was terrible. There are so many words. You could go through the entire thesaurus looking for every word under the sun to describe that first half, and you still wouldn't get close to just how bad it was, to be honest. I mean, it was just tepid and turgid and dull because Huddersfield, they were sitting back, they were absorbing pressure. I said in the pre-match video I thought they might come out and attack us a little bit. I was very wrong. I was very wrong on that. Huddersfield were not interested in taking the fight to Liverpool in the first half of that match, at least. They really weren't. They sat back, they soaked up the pressure, and Liverpool did not have a clue how to break them down. We were so bereft of ideas during that whole first half. I mean, we were just knocking the ball around. No one really showing any spark of creativity or any idea of how to actually break Huddersfield down. And it really felt like it was, here we go again. It's going to be just like Burnley. It's going to be just like Man United as well. It's just going to be like every other game where a team comes to Anfield and sits back and soaks up the pressure. It really did feel just exactly the same as it always is in that kind of situation. And then we got the penalty. And I really thought, that was a really lucky break for us, because at first I didn't think it was a penalty. Looked at the replays and thought, you know what, that's fair enough. That was a really big shirt pull from the Huddersfield player. Fair enough, the penalty. And then Mo Salah's taking it. And I'm not entirely sure why. Because James Milner, it's safe to say, he's a penalty specialist, James Milner. He's very good at taking penalties. He's shown that in his time at Liverpool. He's only missed one since he arrived here. James Milner was on the pitch today. Doesn't get a look in. What about Roberto Firmino, Liverpool's designated penalty taker for this season? Also doesn't get a look in. Instead, it's given to Mo Salah because he scored one penalty for Egypt. And I really don't understand that decision, because yes, it was a high pressure situation and penalties are as much about, the mental side of it and about the confidence as they are about the technique. And Mo Salah really showed that he had the mental side of maybe taking penalties with that penalty he took to get Egypt into the World Cup finals. But it wasn't an amazing penalty that he scored for Egypt. It really was just because the goalkeeper went the other way. And if the goalkeeper had gone the other way today, then maybe we'd say, yeah, that's a good penalty from Mo Salah. He really should be our permanent penalty taker. But it was a rubbish penalty, to be honest. It was a really rubbish height, wasn't placed anywhere near far enough in the corner. And you thought, wow, this really is going to be one of those days into it, isn't it? And we went into half-time and just thought, this is poo. However, the second half began, and clearly Jurgen Klopp had done something. God knows what he'd done. He might have given them the hairdryer treatment. He might have threatened to sack them all in the morning if they didn't win the game. But whatever he said and whatever he did, it worked. Because straight away Liverpool were out the traps. We were looking a little bit better. And then we got a huge slice of luck for that first goal with Daniel Sturridge. Daniel Sturridge really bailed us out there with that goal. And Huddersfield did their part as well, because it was a Huddersfield player who heads it on, doesn't really judge it well at all, doesn't get the ball right, and it goes straight to Daniel Sturridge, who's in loads of space. He hasn't been picked up by any of the Huddersfield players, and he makes a really good finish to lob it over the goalkeeper. The ball's in the air, the goalkeeper's on rushing. Sturridge shows just how much we value him as a strong finisher and a brilliant finisher of chances, scores the first goal, and from there on in, the mood was just lifted, wasn't it? It just suddenly felt like maybe, yeah, we have got a chance of winning this game, because as much as we talk about Liverpool's defence and how that's the problem and how it was the problem against Spurs, the real issue in the first half of this game was the attack. That was the problem, and that's why we felt like we had no chance whatsoever of winning the game. But thankfully, with a little bit of a helping hand from a Huddersfield centre-back, Liverpool had the lead. And then not long after that, we had another one. After waiting so long for a goal, and after Liverpool looking like they had no chance whatsoever of scoring in the game, suddenly, like buses, two of them just come along within about 8 minutes or so of each other. It was a really good header from Roberto Firmino. I'm slightly questioning how much credit we're going to give to Jordan Henderson for the assist, because I think it was him who crossed it into the box, and it wasn't an amazing cross. It was quite low down, and I think you could ask questions of the Huddersfield defence and how they set themselves up, and the fact that the ball actually managed to get to Roberto Firmino. But still, the ball gets to him, he heads it really well, gets it underneath the goalkeeper by heading it down into the turf, and Liverpool were 2-0 up, and suddenly the game looked fine. Whoever doubted Liverpool? But that was nice. That was nice to suddenly feel in a comfortable position where we really felt like we had control over the game. And then things felt a little bit shaky after that. You know, it was fine for a while, and then it got to about 15 minutes left, or maybe 20 minutes left, and Huddersfield had a couple of free kicks and a couple of chances where they looked like they were starting to threaten our goal, and you thought, if they score now, this is going to be a horrible end to the match, because if Huddersfield pulled one back, you'd have that nagging voice in your head going, we're going to throw it away, we're going to throw it away, we're going to throw it away. And then Wijnaldum scores an absolute belter. I mean, that was a fantastic goal from Wijnaldum. He couldn't have hit it better if he tried a million, billion, trillion times to hit it from that angle. He did absolutely brilliant there. Great to see Wijnaldum get a goal. I'm pretty sure that's his first competitive goal of the season so far, and hopefully that'll boost his performances a little bit as well, boost his confidence and everything, which can only be a good thing. And then after 3-0, you know, we were actually playing some decent football. I mean, all the way through the second half, I was thinking, as happy as I am about the fact we're winning this, I don't really feel like we deserve it. It always felt like we'd kind of got away with one a little bit by getting a few lucky goals. But then after the Wijnaldum goal, we played some pretty good football, especially given that we'd subbed off Firmino, subbed off Sturridge, and I think we subbed off someone else at some point. I'm not entirely sure. We subbed off Mo Salah as well with about 10 minutes to go. And we still played some good football. We were linking up really well, creating the odd chance, not really putting any of them away, but it was still nice to see the team playing some half-decent attacking football after some really rubbish attacking play earlier on in the game. So, all things considered, that was a really, really good win in the end. Like I said, it was a rubbish start to the game. It really felt like it was going to be one of those days. But thankfully, Liverpool at last have proved us wrong. At last, they've turned around and said, you know what, we're better than that. We're better than what people think we are, and they've proved that, and they've won the game, and they've won the game comfortably as well. So just thank God for that, to be honest. And next up, we've got Maribor on Wednesday, and we've got a real chance to show that that team that showed up in the second half, that team that played some decent football and was actually capable of scoring some goals, that is the Liverpool that we're going to be seeing from now on. Because that's what we need. We need a team that's able to win games comfortably against inferior opposition. And Maribor, let's be honest, they are inferior opposition, so we should be beating them. So here's hoping that Liverpool can take that away from this game and carry on those good performances from here on in and all the way to the end of the season, we hope. So that is all today's video. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, why not give it a like? If you're new around here as well, hit that subscribe button and check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter as well, and I'll see you very soon for the pre-match build-up video for the game against Maribor in the Champions League. Bye for now.